Hello and welcome back. Boy, did the Rings of Power suck, am I right? At least that's what I've heard. I wouldn't know, I haven't actually watched it. Nor do I plan to. I mean, my mum has, and she said she liked it, but then again, she liked the Michael Bay Transformers movies, Alien Resurrection, Godzilla 1998 and Twister. Admittedly, I like some of those too, but anyway, back to the point. The reason I even brought up that show is because today we're reviewing a similar modern adaptation to the Tolkienverse, that being Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. So let's get into it. The story takes place in between the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, although the only reason you could probably figure that out is because Gollum occasionally shows up looking for his precious. You play as a ranger named Talion, who was guarding the Black Gate one day, along with his family, just relaxing all good, when some orcs come around and start causing trouble in the neighbourhood. Talion and his family get killed as part of a ritual by the Black Hand of Sauron, only to be resurrected by some elf wraith who wants to help Talion get revenge on his murderers and stop Sauron from rising again. Now initially I thought that the big twist was going to be that this wraith turns out to actually be Sauron in disguise, but actually no, that turned out not to be the case. He's just some guy that Sauron tricked into making the Rings of Power for him. So a ranger and his wraith head off to bump off the orc chain of command, gather artifacts to jog the wraith's memory, help out people that are trying to kick the orcs out of Mordor, and try and take revenge on those with the suffix of Sauron. After a long quest of killing orcs, helping allies, and then watch those allies get killed, Talion finally confronts the Black Hand of Sauron atop the Black Gate, not of Sauron. Then the Black Hand of Sauron slits his own throat, then merges with the Wraith to resurrect Sauron's physical form, and then this is the part of the game that everyone complains about. Sauron, the Lord of Darkness, gets defeated by a quick-time event. Let me rephrase that. The ultimate evil in this game and in this series, as well as the penultimate evil of this entire universe, gets defeated with what is essentially Simon Says. Anyway, after whatever the fuck that was, Talion reunites with his wraith, and the two decide to head off to forge their own Ring of Power. And sequel bait. The closest thing I can compare this game to is Assassin's Creed, as there's an emphasis on tracking down your targets and taking them out stealthily. You can take them out with the combat as well, which does a decent job, although do bear in mind you'll probably have to fight a lot of orcs while you're at it, or urks as they prefer to be called. You can also use the powers of your wraith buddy to shoot arrows, drain enemies' vitality, mind probe them for information, and eventually brainwash them into joining your side, which neatly fits into this game's most unique feature, the ever-adapting orc hierarchy. Because not only do you have your standard run-of-the-mill orcs, but you have orc captains and war chiefs as well, each with their own unique strengths, weaknesses and fears. And by interrogating certain orcs, you can learn more about them. Not only that, but if an orc gets a cheeky kill on you, it will rise through the ranks itself, gaining titles and even fighting other captains and war chiefs to move even further up the ranks. Not only that, but if you can mind control one of the captains or war chiefs, you can get them to rise through the ranks and even take out one of their higher ranking officers that they're supposed to be protecting. And by killing these captains and war chiefs, you also get special abilities that you can equip. While the graphics on other versions seem pretty good, unfortunately for me, I played the PS3 version, meaning that the graphics was slightly downgraded and muddier in certain ways. And the version I played had a lot of issues with lagging, which I don't know is just a problem with the PS3 version or just my copy specifically. As for the music, I'll let Music Meister take care of this. The music is kind of an awkward subject to talk about. I mean, it's good, it's well done, and all original to boot, but it's just not that memorable, and nothing really sort of stands out. Well, that's it. That's all I really have to say. Now what? This game is alright, although looking back I probably would have had a lot more fun with the other versions. The story is serviceable, as are the music and graphics, but it's the gameplay that really carries this, with the Nemesis system adding a unique, almost strategic element to the game, as well as giving you a personal investment with the orcs that kill you. I say this game's worth giving a go, although probably not this version. Well, that's all from me. See you next time.